Welcome back, YouTube. Today we are looking at, well, I think what should be one of most people's favorite cuts of steak. It's the hanger steak, also called the hanging tender, also called the onglet, also called the butcher's cut, because butchers used to keep it and not give it away. So I haven't looked at this one yet. I just opened it. Let's take a look at this. Now, I think some people might differentiate between the hanging tender and a hanger steak. Depending on how much you get. And so you'll see that this looks like, okay. So usually it's a V-shaped one that has kind of two parts. And so this clearly is just one part of the hanging tender. It certainly has a little bit of fat here that, while you don't have to take it off, I'm gonna go ahead and take it off because I would like to have this to be just the meat or protein portion because it is so nice and tender. Actually, let me just do this. I didn't know if I was going to have to trim this or not. Usually I don't have to trim it. I'm going to go ahead and trim this one a little bit. Just take some of that little bit of fat off. Maybe I'll give those trimmings to the dog when I'm done. So the great thing about a hanging tender or a hanger steak, if you can get either one, it's almost the same thing. Now in the UK they call it skirt as well, but we call skirt to be a separate cut. I have skirt steak downstairs as well. Maybe I'll do the skirt as well. All of them are quite tender though. So the hanging tender here, of course, has the name tender in it because it is so tender. It's not the same as a filet mignon in tenderness, but it's very, very close. Also very close then to the one we did in the rotator cuff of the cow, the flat iron steak. Maybe, well, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, and while, again, there's nothing wrong with this connective tissue type fat, it tends to be quite tough. And so really you want to cut that off your steak here if you can, but you don't want to obviously waste too much, so as best you can, see if you can fillet that off. I'm not quite getting it very well here. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. And you'll see I'm going right down the middle here to get that out. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Don't want to waste too much here. Waste as little as possible. Okay. Get this connective tissue through the center here. And I think maybe this was all of it. It's just it wasn't cut the way I normally see it. Maybe not. I'm not sure actually. They call it a V cut normally, and I've seen ones that look a little bit more like that. But okay. So nice. Nice. A little more here, just a smidgen. Just gonna take that off too. Smidgen of tough fat on the outside. Give that to my dog. Just that little trim. Okay, now the meat itself is very tender. I think I will trim this one not in front of the camera, or maybe I can do it quickly. Yeah, I'll trim this real quick too. And mostly it's the center portion here that has the thicker connective tissue fat type stuff that I want to get off. How am I doing? Yeah, not too bad. It's a little hard to avoid getting some of the meat, unfortunately, with this, just because of the way it's it connects. Like I say, often I don't have to do this. It really depends how the cut is when I get it. Sometimes they've already kind of done this for me. Sometimes they haven't. And when they do take this off, they, instead of calling it a hanging tender, they'll call it the hanger steak typically. At least from that's from my experience. And so that's why some people differentiate whether or not you've kind of cut off the connective tissue to call it a hanger steak or the hanging tender, which contains kind of the connective tissues as well. Again, I'm not sure if that's universal or just what I've experienced with my own experience with receiving from the butchers the hanger/hanging tendon. hanging tender steaks. All right, so you'll see that missed a little bit of meat. That's mostly just connective hard tissue. I've eaten it. I don't mind eating it actually, but I think most people wouldn't want to eat it. And I definitely, I think, prefer to take it off. Like I say, I don't mind eating it, but it's not, it's much better tasting, right? Much better texture. You don't have that tough portion on it. Okay. So I'll give some of that at least to the dog. So here's our hanger steaks. Just pulling off a little bit of extra still. Okay. Now in terms of cooking these are very tender, just like the flat iron or the filet mignon, right? I mean, you can cook to your desired tenderness that you want, but it's best not to overcook it. It will be tough if you get to medium or higher. So you definitely don't want to cook these past medium. And of course, being a steak lover, I like everything blue rare if it's safe. And so tough to cook these blue rare because of how thin it is in some spots. So I probably, if I get, you know, the thicker portion blue rare, I'll probably be rare or maybe even close to medium on some of these smaller edges. But I have some homemade tallow, as always, in a pan that's already warm for me to cook. So I'm going to toss these in. And we're going to cook for, you know, as short as possible to make sure that it's safe. Make sure that we get all the germs killed, no E. coli, bacteria, or anything like that could happen. But we really don't want to do this very long. And once I do cook it, we'll cut them in slices so you can take a quick look. Is this, I don't think this is too much for me. I think this is going to be a good meal, good breakfast. All right, so you can see it's already kind of cooked enough there, but we'll turn it. All right, try and get the side a bit there. Turn this one. So we'll cook this as little as possible without risking anything for germs. And hopefully it will still be at least rare. I would take blue rare easily, but I think it's just difficult this thin of a piece to really get that and still kill all the germs on the outside. So I'm not going to worry about blue rare, but we'll probably get rare here in a second. And this is going to be super tender. You know, a lot of people don't talk about heart as being super tender like I do. Heart is super tender, and I find these to be very similar. Again, like filet mignon, like the flat iron, a little bit less tough than a skirt steak if you differentiate between the two, but very similar to that as well. All right, and I see some bloody red area down here, so I'll probably cook that for another second here. Here, rinse this. All right, that should be good. Let me just double check, make sure everything on the outside has been cooked. Perfect. All right. So there's our hanging tender. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's come across. And we'll take a look inside. Should hopefully, I bet you this will be not blue rare, but rare hopefully still. Not too bad. Oh, might even be blue rare there. And certainly this one will be. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Hey doggy, what have I got for you here? Oh, another one? Here. Alrighty, so there's our hanging tender, hanger steak, butcher's cut, whatever you want to call it. It's got a lot of names. And again, if I didn't mention it, it's from the diaphragm to help the cow breathe. So it's in the rib cage. It's one of the few cuts that's inside the rib cage. And part of the reason it's so tender, right, is because while you breathe all the time, it doesn't take a lot of effort, right? You don't have to get really strong muscles, just strong enough to help you breathe. So here we go, hanger steak. Take care, everyone. Until next time.